Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Today number 3 of a road trip that I am taking with my dad. We are at the corner of Highway 78. I'm inviting you to join me and my dad as he explains what we're going to be doing, well, starting off and going throughout the course of the day. Shall you? Take it away, Dad.
US Highway 78 is the road that I took 54 years ago, traveling from my home in Mississippi to just outside Atlanta, Georgia, East Point, Georgia, go to college and to prepare for the ministry. US Highway 78 runs right by Anniston, Alabama, which is our next stop.
Eastbound. We're going eastbound over to Anniston. All right, let's do it.
I forgot to tell you. We lived in Anniston 2 different times. The first time we lived in Anniston, I preached at a place called the Indian Oaks Christian Church. Second time we lived in Anniston, I preached at the Welburn Christian Church. And when I preached at the Welburn Christian Church, I had to work a second job at a print company called Higginbotham Printing.
I thought maybe you worked here at Little Wingo's.
I dreamed of that.
Did you ever pass by and get any wings from Little Wingo's?
I never got any wings here. Nope.
So
I may have stopped and got a Coca-Cola.
You might have. Yeah. I do like the Coca-Cola nostalgia. So we're gonna go by the print shop, Higginbotham, and then we're gonna go by
over out to the Indian Oaks Church.
All right, sounds good. Made it downtown to Anniston now. Found the print shop. See the lettering up on the side of the wall there.
Higginbotham Printing. This is where I worked back in 1974, 75. This was the main entrance to the office area here for the print shop. And I was a delivery driver for the print shop.
What year would that have been?
74, 75.
I was born in 74, so you were working here the first year of my life.
I was. Now you'll notice down here is another doorway with a pull-up door thing. Can you see it from here?
I can see it. It's like is that where the delivery truck pulled up to?
That was where I would pull up with the delivery truck, and all the print stuff would come out, and all the print shop was out that way, and then the delivery would come out that door, and I would take the stuff. Yeah.
That is so neat that the lettering is still up there. No longer in operation. Wow, that is cool. You were working here as long as I've been alive. Well, you were working here
right after you were born.
Right after I was born. That's a better way to explain it.
Yeah.
And you see someone has a little damage down here. There's a few items in there, some shelving, a desk, chair, and other accessories. Not too much though. Little memories of the past. The downtown area is very, very nostalgic. It's like stepping back in time with the Rexall there, the clock in the middle. Yeah, it's like time just stopped through here. Check it out. Old movie theater there. It says coming soon, Star Wars. What? I'm gonna say classic truck alert. But I was looking at this retro Coca-Cola sign with a sports car up on top, and we're about to turn onto Sachs Road. What's down Sachs Road?
That's the first house we lived in, the first time we lived in Anniston.
The first of the 2 homes in Anniston.
We lived here twice, yeah. This is the first house we lived in. We're going to that.
Down Sachs Avenue, or Sachs Road. Sachs Road.
It'll be the left-hand turn here. All right, we're looking at a photo here of 1974. Stop. 1972. Your mom and I were driving a Volkswagen. We lived at this house on Sachs Road in Anniston, Alabama, And that's what it looked like, and this is what it looks like today. 5232 Sachs Road.
Same awning. Yeah, the same little awning. Of course, we're looking the opposite direction. Right out front there, there's a sidewalk now, and it's not as not little dirt driveway is angled differently.
Yep, same place though, right on the corner.
You had that Volkswagen Bug, and you're going to tell a story about that Volkswagen Bug.
When we get down to the church building, I'll tell you the story about the Volkswagen. Yep.
It involves a file cabinet and not going well with moving it.
Yeah, it was an interesting story. You should have been there.
How cool. Well, there's the angle of the picture, right about like that.
Yep.
We're now going to head down Linlock Lane, and this Sachs Hardware. You have some memories of this too, right, Dad?
Yeah, this was not always a Sachs Hardware. This used to be a vacant gravel lot, had kind of a fence around it, and they would have 6 or 8 of these big trash dumpsters, and all the community would bring their household garbage, drop them into these dumpsters, and they would come empty them out once a week.
So they wouldn't come by your door.
No, they didn't come to the house.
So
you brought the garbage here.
It was a communal dumping station for the local residents. Now it's a hardware store.
Time marches on.
There's the sign right there. So this is the dip you were talking about with the Bug and the
Volkswagen and the
file cabinet.
I'll tell that story in a minute.
But this is where it happened.
This is where it happened.
At the little cusp here. Very distinct building.
Look at the photo of it. Back in the day.
Who's that standing in front of?
That's me and June.
My mom and you.
That's us. Yep.
Wow.
I have no idea who took the picture.
Maybe you had it on a tripod.
No, I didn't have a tripod. That's that same spotlight. All rusted out there.
Sure is. This is before I was born. You were at this.
1972. And none of these houses.
All new development.
And there was, I don't even think there was a road there. I don't think that driveway existed. Yeah, all of this was excess mounded dirt right here. I was the minister here in 1972 for exactly 52 Sundays. This awning here for the car to pull under and let people out in the rain, that did not exist originally. And this was not asphalt, this was gravel, all this parking.
Exactly 1 year, 52 weeks.
Yeah, that's all that they could put up with me for. Oh my goodness. See these volleyball goals, posts over here? I don't know if those are the original ones or not. They look like they could be. This rusty looking one could very well be from 50 years ago. But we would set these up yonder. That fence was not there, and that half of the building, see the white door?
Yeah.
That's where the building ended. Right where that air conditioning unit is. And that was just basically a hole in the ground where they hoped one day to build the add-on, which now obviously they have. But we would set up the volleyball net after church and play volleyball after church out here.
That is neat.
If they accidentally left the door on.
Is this hallway the same?
That's more modern and decorative, but yes, the same hallway. And I see, based on that stairwell that you see ahead of us there, that the side unit that they ultimately built in that hole I was saying a minute ago is a 2-story deal. It goes downstairs.
So tell me the tale of the file cabinet and your vehicle.
Well, after my last Sunday, I had to move all the stuff out of my office, which I had here in one of the rooms here at the building. And all I had to transport it on was the Volkswagen, and it had this huge 4-drawer file cabinet. So I took all the file cabinet drawers out, put them in the back seat of my Volkswagen, but I had to put that big file cabinet somewhere, so I didn't have any rope. So some buddy of mine told me, said, hey man, you know, you can take some string and braid it together and you can make a rope. And so I thought, oh, that's what I'll do. So I took some string and I braided, you know, 3 or 4 pieces of string together and I made a rope. Well, the rope broke when I went down that hill to go out to the street, and the weight of the file cabinet broke the 2 ropes, the string in the back, and it fell down on the top of my Volkswagen, the hood of my Volkswagen, and mangled the file cabinet and dented the hood of my Volkswagen.
I have seen with my own eyes the dented file cabinet.
And it was all mangled, and I took it home and bit it back out.
And you used it for years.
You remember?
I do.
At the house, it was the rusty, creased up
I never knew the backstory on it, though. It happened right down there at the bottom of the hill.
I still remember the sensation driving the Volkswagen down the hill, and then suddenly, boom, boom, boom.
Oh man, that's funny.
Memories, I tell you.
49 years ago, you and Mom, and standing right here. Wow. A year from now will be the 50th anniversary of that photograph. Oh, there's a date right here. This says 1970. So that is when
they built the building.
The building was built in 70. 2 years later, you ministered here. There's a bunch of red ants. Some of that Alabama clay. I could just superimpose Mom in to there. Let me back up a bit and get the same spotlight. Mom's just got to live vicariously by watching this. Now, there was also a notable
personality.
Infamous
personality.
That means they're more than famous that went here. Can you explain a little bit about her?
Yeah, there was a family that came here when I was the minister. Let's see, we had Grandma, her daughter and her husband, and 2 kids. And the lady that became infamous was Marie Hilly. And
also known as, later on, I think there was a television movie about her called The Black
Widow.
The Black Widow.
Yeah, they were members here, came here when I preached here. I even ate at her house once.
How you feeling?
I feel pretty good.
And she and her husband, which is a tangled web, no pun intended, with the Black Widow, they are laid to rest here in town.
They are.
We could go by and see where.
We could go by the cemetery, yeah. You were born in 1974. We were living at the time in Verona, Mississippi. About 3 weeks later, we moved back to Anniston for the 2nd time. And we had a mobile home, and this is the mobile home we had. And there you and your mama outside our mobile home. That's the mobile home we lived in.
Like a month or 2 old.
Something like that.
I was born in Tupelo, moved over here as about a month or 2 old.
Exactly.
Now we have tried to find this online.
And now we're going to visually go try to see it.
Maybe it will jar something in your memory.
Hopefully it will.
And we'll just drive around till we can see something that maybe looks familiar, like a cross street.
Now this is a double wide mobile home in a mobile home park built for single wide trailers. So we were an oddity in this little neighborhood. Here's one more shot at our front door.
You'll see it looks like it says number 13 on the garbage can.
Yeah.
Lot 13, or whichever one it is.
Yeah, this is like the power unit or whatever that's called.
The next photo is the garbage can. Oh, you're right. It is the power unit. Yep, you're right.
Yeah. This is June. This is me, and that's little you.
Little me.
Little you.
What's the last photo? Or is that the last one?
That's the. Oh, this is the original Welburn church.
We're gonna go by there too, right?
Exactly.
So you met in a house.
We did.
When?
Right after I left this church here, they wanted me to come preach for them until we moved to Mississippi. So.
Okay, so we'll try to find both those spots.
I know this is all kind of confusing chronologically for everybody that's
because
watching.
This is before I was born. This is 73, where this is 74.
Correct.
Nonetheless, it's all still in the same town.
Yes. Once this group formulated into an actual church organization, they invited me to come back then in 1974 after you were born. This is the only main road coming off of the highway back there, going toward the Welburn church where I preached, that we could possibly look for that mobile home park where we lived. That's where I'm going this way. Now, this is the first Sunday that the group that became the Welburn Christian Church met in these people's house right here for that first Sunday service, and I was their preacher.
Before you guys got the church building.
This is before we moved to Mississippi. This is after we left the Indian Oaks Church, but before we moved to Mississippi, only about a year and a half later to move back to Welburn.
And there's my mom right there in the center of the screen with the blue dress on. Bottom of that stairs.
Yep.
You see have it dated June 73. That would have been January of 73, so 8 months before I was born. And the staircase is right there.
That's the place.
So my mama would have been standing right there at the bottom of that staircase.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. We met at a YMCA.
Here's the building now. After the YMCA, they built this.
Correct.
So the picture I just showed was at the house.
This was the original, this was the very first Sunday meeting.
The photo in front of the house down the hill.
Correct.
And then the YMCA.
And then they started meeting in a YMCA while I was preaching in Mississippi.
Okay, and then they built this building.
Then they invited me to come back and preach for them in the YMCA. And then I left and moved to Oklahoma, and then they built this building. I see. Well, I appreciate you've been very helpful and very grateful. I'll give Mr. Bird a call and see if I can find out anything else. You've been a sweetheart. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
My dad was just on the phone, made a couple calls. Came to find out that what we thought was the YMCA was a club that has since been torn down many years ago, so no luck there. Still haven't had any luck finding the trailer park. Tried a couple other options. There is a Sinclair gas station here, still operational as a mechanic. Check out those classic cars sitting in front. We have found Frank and Marie Hilly. Frank passed away in 75 and Marie in 87. Did you ever meet Frank?
I did meet Frank.
It's always fascinating to me that they are laid to rest next to each other. Because if you know the story of what happened, he probably does not want to be laid next to her after what she did to him.
Chances are he doesn't even know.
That's also a very good point. However, I was saying about the tangled web, but there's a lot of depth to this. In fact, she changed her name a couple of times, and she escaped from jail, and that's how she ended up getting sick and passing on.
Yeah, that's the way I heard the story as well.
But she was going to be put away for life.
Yeah.
But they let her out for a short time, thinking that she would not make a run for it, and she did. And then she ended up here, next to her husband.
First husband.
Her first husband.
Yeah.
Because she
did remarry.
Well, she did remarry after she changed her name.
Right.
This gentleman, Frank, who you had dinner at Frank and Marie's home.
I did. I don't remember what we
Wow.
had.
You don't remember what you had for dinner?
No.
Hopefully it wasn't powdery. Hopefully it didn't have layers of powder in it. Very thin traces of it. Anyway, a nice little tie-in. Well, it's not a nice tie-in, it's a tie-in nonetheless. This is Forest Lawn, Forest Green, Forest Lawrenceston. Lawrence, his name is Lawrence Fangs.
Jameson Lawrence.
His name is James Jesterton. We're like this. Oh, dirty, rotten scoundrels humor. Forest Lawn Gardens is where Marie and Frank. His name is James Jesterton. I know a guy. I met him on a train. Went ahead and just fueled up. Gas is still very difficult. $2.99. I had about a half a tank. I actually filled up this morning earlier, so I'm just trying to always top it off because there is not a whole heck of a lot of gas to be found. Even on the corner over here at that station, nothing but bags over the top of the nozzle. That's a very loud truck, and it appears to be multiple states are now out of fuel. Not a good situation, but carrying on with the road trip. Just gotta think ahead and always top it off whenever you see a station that does have gas. Drove a little bit of a ways down I-20 and stopped off. There is gas, however, not only at the station I just fueled up at, but also at Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's has arrived in Alabama. Interesting. I believe I'll go in, get myself a piping hot caffeinated beverage. You've never been to Buc-ee's, right? There you go. First time meeting Buc-ee.
Never met Buc-ee before.
You're in for a treat. I call this like a Disneyland of gas station. Well, no truckers. Well, truckers are allowed, but their trucks are not allowed.
Right.
So you're allowed as a former trucker, but if you had one of your former trucks, you could not park it here.
I'd have to park it over there and
walk over.
A couple of macadamia nut cookies there.
Macadamia nut cookies. I went with the Buc-ee's Nug-ees and a creamsicle, and I got myself a sandwich, I believe. You know what? I can't remember. I think it's maybe a turkey sandwich or maybe pulled pork. I can't remember what I got. It says True Buc-ee's Club. That's what it is, a club sandwich. I'm also thinking maybe I should get some sort of merchandise designating this location. Yeah, I think I should. Here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Leeds, Alabama Buc-ee shirt. Drove a little bit of a ways, pulled into Bessemer, the town of Bessemer, and down this hill around this corner is where Bo Jackson, Heisman Trophy winner, played for the Auburn Tigers and the Raiders, professional football career. One of my favorite athletes from my youth. Had all his baseball cards, football cards, watched all the games he played. And the street he grew up on is right around this corner. There we go, Bo Jackson Avenue, the corner of Merritt Street. Now I recall back in 1990, an interview for 2020, I believe the interviewer was Stone Phillips. And they showed this very home, which still has the Auburn flag flying, and that interview took place with Bo walking right down the street. I could just picture a young Bo Jackson playing football with his friends right here in this road. Found one little screen grab from that. You see the house behind there where Stone Phillips and Bo are walking. That is this house here, now abandoned and dilapidated. They were walking right past here. The camera was following them, and a little walk and talk, an interview with Bo. As well as this one, you can see the same gate, even though the house has been repainted. That's the one. All right, moving on. And about another hour away, made it over to Tuscaloosa, now on the corner of Paul W. Bryant and Greensboro. Paul was also known as Bear Bryant, the coach of the University of Alabama. Gonna go by the stadium. Rivals of the Auburn Tigers that Bo Jackson played for. I felt it fitting to go by both. Now I know the Auburn Stadium is Jordan Hare. You know the name of Alabama Stadium?
Bryant-Denny.
Bryant-Denny Stadium. There it is, all its glory.
I think they said it's the largest, 7th largest in the U.S.
Now, I have never attended a game at this stadium. I did go to an Auburn game once, with you in fact.
I believe I was.
We went on, it was on Halloween Eve, back in the 80s when they opened the new upper deck section. That was, 34 years ago, well, give or take a year. There's a place here called Rama Jammas. I bet that's pretty hopping on game day. There's the elephant right there with its tusks and its nose, snout to the air. Tuscaloosa, not far from the state line. The next state line we'll be going through tomorrow. Well, that's going to do it for today. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is there's a truck backing up. The vlog is over. Oh yeah, one last thing. Got a hotel over there next to the interstate, the freeway. Grabbing a bite to eat before I go check in for the night. There is an open Captain D's. I had no idea that Captain D's was still around.